Right now on Denver 7 News at 6 a.m. Flowers, statues, and candles. A growing memorial outside a Greeley business for a woman killed while closing up at work.
A sister in shock after her brother was killed outside a house party.
He was an amazing, amazing human being. You know, there was nothing that he wouldn't give anybody, the shirt off his back.
Denver's airport is looking for approval for another construction project, this time an upgraded baggage system, but there's a major financial factor keeping some city council members from supporting it.
And so far, the mission is a go for NASA, a new rocket ushering in the next era of space travel, and the Colorado companies helping make this dream a reality. And you are taking a live look at the launch pad from the Kennedy Space Center in Cape Canaveral, Florida this morning. The Artemis 1 is on a bit of a delay right now. The countdown clock on hold for T-minus 40 minutes because of a hydrogen fuel leak earlier and possibly an engine issue right now. So we are watching this closely to see if it will launch within that 2-hour window, which starts at 6:33 our time, or if it will be scrubbed and if it will have to launch Friday instead. But we're hoping. We're still hopeful this morning.
So many people have gathered, there in Florida, and of course watching from around the country. Because this is big, a big mission.
And I've been watching a live stream, and it sounds pessimistic. More and more pessimistic all the time. So we'll see how it goes.
Well, the longer they wait, too, the better chance of storms. They're not too far off.
So is that right?
Yeah, we'll talk more about that coming up.
Yeah. And Jason has the latest as CDOT has been shooting for the moon.
Oh, no, they have been.
Central 70 project.
That's right. We'll talk more about how I-70 is open. Actually opened early after the weekend closure, which is
nice. Nice. And the weather here looking pretty nice today. Warm again, though, Lisa.
It's a good-looking week. As we're leading up to a holiday weekend, we're going to see a lot of 80s and 90s across the board. Right now, starting off with a little mix of sun and clouds. Here from City Park, near about 60 degrees in most neighborhoods. Your bus stop forecast on this Monday morning, we'll see some low to mid 60s with plenty of sunshine here early on. A dry afternoon, low to mid 80s by the time your kids get home, right around 2 to 3 o'clock. And then a couple of hours later, we're going to hit a high of about 88 in Denver. So near 90 today here across most of northeastern Colorado. 60s, mainly 70s though for the mountains this afternoon. We do have some pretty warm conditions here. When you look at our 10-day forecast for temperatures, warmer than average. You'll see that on the Super 7 Day. I'll show you that coming up here in just a few minutes, plus your full holiday weekend forecast coming up.
And right now I'm looking at a big delay up to the north side of town. Unfortunately, it is southbound I-25 right there in that crash corridor, as they like to call it, right here after the Thornton Parkway. Take a look from Air Tracker 7 and you can see that we do have a huge wreck here with 3 vehicles involved across the left and center lane, but they're only allowing the right lane to get through. They've closed out the express lane. I came through there twice yesterday, and I'm telling you, it is crazy how people are going in and out, weaving in and out, and I wouldn't be surprised if that led to this wreck right here. So the drive time, as you can see on that southbound side, is now registering at 30 minutes. From basically 104th, it's rock solid. It's actually slowing down from after 120th in there. So side streets down to either the Thornton Parkway or 84th Avenue get you through there a lot faster. I-70 is all wide open, looking great for us through that new section, nice and smooth through the new tunnel getting over to I-25.
All right, well, we do want to get you caught up on a terrible tragedy that happened over the weekend. Friends and family are grieving the loss of 22-year-old Angie Vega. She was killed Friday night after closing up at work. So scary. And now memorials are growing in different parts of Greeley, including where she worked and where her body was later found. Denver 7's Veronica Acosta joins us live. And Veronica, there are plans to celebrate her life tonight.
There are. Angie's family and friends, they actually plan on getting together tonight for a memorial to remember the 22-year-old. And this is really going to be some of their first chances to see all of the love that people have left behind in the form of flowers, candles, and of course even some of those handwritten notes as well. Just this past weekend, we got the chance to speak to the woman who owns a salon that sits right next to the place where Angie worked. She said it was really hard for her to stomach what had happened to Angie.
I have so much anger because I am a female, I am a mother, I am a daughter, I am a niece. It's just like, she's a niece, she's a daughter. She's never gonna have kids, she's never gonna get married, and that's not fair.
So police say Angie was working at the NoCo Nutrition on Friday night. She had to close the shop that night, but they say they were called to the store just before 8 and were told the employee was missing and it looked like the business had been broken into. When police finally got there, officers saw there was some blood in the store and Angie's car was missing as well. A few hours later, her car was found near 71st and 20th, not far from the store with her body inside. Now, 24-year-old Marcos Vallejos, who's been held on first-degree sexual assault and murder charges, he is who police say committed this crime. And as far as Angie's memorial goes, that's going to be outside of NoCo Nutrition, the place where she worked. Anybody and everybody who wants to pay their respects to Angie, they are welcome to attend. It's going to be between 6 and 8 p.m. tonight. We're in Denver this morning. I'm Veronica Acosta, Denver 7.
Oh, it's so sad, Veronica. Thank you. You can see here that Denver and Aurora police were dealing with a lot of violence this weekend, responding to 5 different shootings. We've mapped the locations here. 2 people were killed in these and 8 others were hurt. So far, no arrests have been made.
Also, Nicole, we are talking to the family of a man killed in Denver's Sunnyside neighborhood over the weekend. There was a vigil last night to remember Tomas Jimenez, who was one of 4 people shot outside what neighbors describe as a house party. Happened near West 42nd Avenue and North Clay Street early Sunday. His sister believes the party got out of control, and when neighbors went to call 911, they reported hearing gunshots. Tomas, a woman, and 2 kids were shot.
Something needs to happen with the gun laws. Too many men and young kids are dying, and it's the young kids that are having access to these guns. He wasn't a boy. He wasn't a 20 years old. He was a 41-year-old man who was living his life in his home, doing what he thought was right to come out here.
So a lot of sadness today. If you know anything about what happened, give Denver Police or Metro Denver Crime Stoppers a call.
Let's get back out to the launch pad in Florida this morning. This rocket right here is the key to NASA's future. As we take a live look at the launch pad for the Artemis 1 mission, we have many Colorado connections to today's loss that we'll tell you about in just a moment. But first, Denver 7's Jessica Crawford joins us in studio. Such a historic day, Jessica.
Definitely, possibly a historical day, because we're waiting to see if there are some issues that are going to be resolved. There are a few issues at play right now. NASA's trying to address a hydrogen leak, and they also discovered a crack on the rocket stage. The crack has been addressed, though. The countdown clock is on hold at T-minus 40 minutes as NASA is trying to make its launch window, which opens at 6:33 our time and lasts about 2 hours. For now, all eyes are on Artemis 1 for a successful flight. This first mission will take 42 days to complete before splashdown back on Earth. If all goes well with this test flight come 2024, then we're going to the moon to stay. NASA's goal is to establish a permanent station orbiting the moon called Gateway. From there, astronauts could land on the moon, but it would also be a base for manned space travel to Mars and beyond. Standing 36 stories high and packing 8.8 million pounds of thrust, the Space Launch System will send the Orion space capsule racing towards the moon, and Orion is set to orbit the moon for up to 23 days. With systems aboard gathering data and with the help of its Moonican testing radiation levels. Crews are already training for this, and Artemis 2 will send the first woman and person of color to the moon.
This mission being successful is a sign to the world and to the American people that we've been doing our best with your resources, and so thank you. We owe them that.
And again, there is a 2-hour launch window to hit lunar orbit. So if things don't take off today, NASA will try again to do this on Friday.
Yeah, a lot of moving parts to this one, Jessica. We just want to make sure it goes right because they do want to test all this equipment in a very harsh environment in deep space. There are 2 major parts to the Artemis launch system. The new mega rocket that Jessica described will carry the Orion capsule into deep space. The capsule itself is on top and capped off on the rocket. The Orion spacecraft was built by Colorado-based Lockheed Martin to eventually return astronauts to the surface of the moon and maybe onto Mars.
How does this build upon what we saw with the Apollo missions, so many years ago?
Yeah, let's see. Humans haven't been to deep space and back in over 50 years with the Apollo program. That was really humanity's first taste at space exploration. And now through the Artemis program, you notice Artemis in Greek mythology is the twin sister of Apollo. NASA plans this series of increasingly complex missions to build a sustained lunar presence on the moon. So the goal is not only to go there to visit, but to stay, to learn how to live and work in deep space, and ultimately apply that to their Horizon goal, which is to send humans to leave the first footprints in the red dust of Mars.
Yeah, a lot at stake here. It will return to Earth's atmosphere at 25,000 miles an hour before it finally splashes down in the Pacific. When you think about space, you probably think of Florida, where the launch is scheduled this morning, or Houston, the Johnson Space Center, but Colorado has the nation's second largest aerospace economy in the country. As you take a look at the numbers, more than 34,000 people are employed by a Colorado aerospace company. The directory includes more than 500 aerospace companies and suppliers in the state. 9 of the nation's top aerospace contractors have significant operations here. Colorado's aerospace companies develop products and systems for commercial, military, and government space applications. Lisa, a lot to be excited about. We'll see if it all goes smoothly this morning.
Yeah, and if weather holds out too here, there's going to be a chance for a little bit of rain. Temperatures there right now at the Artemis launch are going to be in the upper 70s, near 80 by about 8 o'clock. But as the day goes on, there's going to be an even better chance for some thunderstorms. Take a look at your exercise forecast back here at home. We have sunny skies, clear conditions, low to mid 70s expected here between about 10 and 11 o'clock. So it is going to heat up today, but it's going to get even hotter tomorrow. Details on how many 90s we're expecting this week coming up.
Yeah, we are looking at a huge problem up to the north side of town with a big wreck on southbound I-25 right here after the Thornton Parkway. You can see 1, 2, 3 vehicles here, and we have 3 lanes blocked. So with the traffic jam going back, that's 104th Avenue. This is 120th, where it's just starting to see the brake lights coming on. Use the side streets down to either the Thornton Parkway or 84th and avoid this traffic jam altogether.
Well, dozens of homes are at risk in Mississippi right now. What officials are doing to protect families from flooding.
And there are still a lot of questions about student debt relief after the Biden administration's announcement last week. Scammers are already trying to take advantage. We'll tell you what to watch out for.